and you can hear OB Studios. All right, so in today's video, I am going to take you through probably like a first look, and then also we are going to build out something with this new builder that dropped called Drape. I think that is how you pronounce it. And when it was in beta, I did like have a look at it, but now that it is out of beta and you can use it to build your own website, I started like testing it out. And mostly for every other builder, you might want to start with like your menu and other stuff like that. So that is what we try and create today using it. But let me take you through how it looks and feel. So this is the there's a canvas, or this is the builder's canvas. This is how it looks like. You do have like your pages here. For some reason they do have pages called Drape pages, so you can create Drape pages. You can create like normal WordPress pages. You can publish and unpublish them, just like this too. You can publish and unpublish them, and you can create like pop-ups. They do have like layers that shows you like all your layers that you do have. Over here there are symbols, mostly like template. So if you save your header, you're going to save them over here. There's a footer, and then there are other parts like of template that you can, I do believe you can store over here too. The next thing here is component are quote unquote your classes. So you do have like all your classes being stored over here. Select your class manager, so that is what that is. These are their elements, and mostly like basic stuff. There are very few like pre-made things like lightbox, navbar, sliders, all of those stuff. Yeah, and then you do have like most of the major basic stuff that you need to build a website. And then you do have like media, and then for media you do have all your medias being stored over here, icons, and then cliff path. So with this, you wouldn't want to go back into Clippy to create any of those. Yeah, and then you do have like your breakpoints over here, your zoom levels and stuff like that. You do have a global search. You do have an audit panel over here. You can see that it is telling you that there is 4 missing links. You have accessibility panel to if you have issues with accessibility stuff. You have a preview button over here. You have your save. With this, you can change it from manual save to auto save if you do want that. And on over here, you do have like your panels that deals with all the things that you need to do when it comes to like CSS, typography, all the way down to animation, which is interactions, transition, transform, all of those cool stuff. And then here is basically your canvas. So this is where you build all your stuff. So that is our overview, quick overview of that. Now let's get into building something with this. So first thing first, let me show you what we are going to build. So this is a normal header. When you turn it into mobile, so it's mobile responsive. When you click, it brings in the it slides in the menu like that, and then when I click here, it closes it out. And yeah, so it's really easy to do this in most builders, but with this you don't have like a dedicated menu builder, so you have to build this like you are building a normal web page without writing any code. So everything we're going to do here, no code, but we are going to use what we do have in Drape to make it. So let's delete everything that I've created already. So delete it, and then I'm gonna save, and then I'll go to layer, go into component, and then every class that I created, I want to clean it up. So every class that I created that I don't want to use, everything has been cleaned up. So these classes over here are classes that you cannot remove. So yeah, so these are classes that you cannot remove. So that is fine. So first thing first, let's click on add section, and I'm going to add a big section. So with this, we can give it like a name and call it let's call it nav menu section. All right, so that is good. So that's our class, and in there we are going to add a container. So the container comes with a size already, so we can also and then make this a menu wrapper. Menu dash dash wrapper. All right, so that is the menu wrapper, and in there what we want to do is that we want to go into size, and then for this we're going to do like 12 or 1200. So that is good. Within this we go back into structure. So structure is where you can find like your layout option. So what we want to do is flex, and then for flex we want it to go in a row, do no wrap, and then for all right, this we're not going to touch anything here, and say space in between and center it like that. Okay, so that is done. Let's add an image for our image, and then we are going to add a list. All right, so that is good. If you want a pre-made nav bar, it is over here, but it is just a normal nav bar. It doesn't make it responsive or anything like that. All right, so let's add an image. So I'm going to select this image and then add it. You can see, and that is what we do have here. If you want to change the class name, you can change the class name from here. You can add like a subclass also over here. All right, so let's click on this menu, this list, and then click on more options. Let's drag this to the side, and then make sure the style is none, and then it's on other list. Everything is cool, and then we just want to close that. All right, so that being done, you can see that it added classes already. So if you do want to add your own, if you want to change the names of this these classes, you can do that. Let's open back our layers panel, and then in here we can change this name to logo, and then you can also come in here and then change this name to nav menu. Nav menu items, right? And then we can probably like change the name to nav menu wrapper, right? Or probably that's the items. And then yeah, we can leave this over there if we do want. All right, so in here what we are going to do is in the structure panel, you can see that there's already pre-made like figures that we want to remove. All right, so that is cool. The next thing that I want to do is open this up. I want to delete everything that is in there except one, and we're just going to duplicate it later. So over here, let's rename this to nav item, right? And then in there we are going to add a link block, because we need that if you want to like link it to a page or other stuff like that. So bring the link block up, and then bring this over here. So link block up, put the text inside the link block, and then yeah, we can leave that link block, and then we can also leave that over there. All right, so with this we can nav link, you can leave that as the name, and then over here we can say nav link, then text. All right, that is good. Okay, so there's the first one. We can go in and then change this one to home. That is good. And then let's duplicate this nav item maybe 3 or 4 times. So let's say 1, 2, and then 3. All right, I don't think any of these duplicate. Okay, dead. All right, so we can see all of them over here. All right, so that is good. So next thing that we want to do is just change the names over here to, let's say, about. Next thing, let's make this one service. Sometimes it just be doing whatever it wants. And then we can do about. I couldn't type the letter. All right, I'm going to type this somewhere else and then just copy it, because for whatever reason I cannot type the letter E over here. All right, so service, let's make this one portfolio. All right, so that is good. Going back into our layers panel, I'm going to add one more item, so duplicate that. And then for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the link block, and then inside the nav item, I'm going to go into element, and I'm going to add a button. All right, so that is good. go back into layout. So we're going to click on the nav menu items, the layer for that. And then with this, what I'm going to do is go into structure. I'm going to change this one from block to flex. And there, let's make sure this one is centered. Yeah, you can leave this one as middle like that, and then you can give the gap 30 pixels. So this is good. Let me go into link block the text, and then for this text, what I'm going to do is that since all these texts have this same class, what I want to do is go into typography, change this one to this text, make this one medium. This is cool. This is cool. All right, next thing that we want to do is to work on our hover state. So to do that, the class is still there. You click on hover. Now you're in the hover state. We're going to go into typography, change this one to more like a greenish kind of thing. So not too green, but a green vibe like that. That is cool. All right, let me click on this button. Let's try and make some changes here. I'm going to choose this color. Not for that particularly. For background, select this and then choose this color, and that is good. And for typography, we are going to make this one also 16. Change this one to from here to that, and yeah, all right, I think that is good. And then we can just change the text here to contact us. All right, so I think we have tried more. All right, so this container, we can rename that as menu wrapper, right? So menu wrapper container, we can go into structure, make sure that something is not looking right. All right, let me bring this down here. I'm going to close that, and I'm just going to preview this. All right, so with this, go back into Drive, and something is not looking right for me. All right, so this is not moving at all. I'm just trying to find out what the issue actually is. Okay, so it's because of this margin. So let's remove that margin. All right, and then when we click on the menu wrapper, I'm going to give a lock this, and then let's give this one a padding of 20 pixels. Clicking back on our nav menu items, I'm going to make sure that this is centered, so everything is centered nicely. So let's save that. Going back here, let's refresh, and then yeah, so we do have something more like this. And when you hover, you can see that the color changes. You can do more with the hover state. So when we click on hover state, and then we go into transition, because the hovering is a bit too rough, so we can add like transition over here to our properties, and then 300 is fine. You can add like a 50 millisecond delay if you do want that. And then we can go back from the hover state to the none state, and also add a transition over there, our properties, and then you can also add like a 50 millisecond, and then let's save that. All right, so let's refresh. So when you hover, it's not giving me what I love. All right, I'm going to change this one to ease, and then go back into none, and then also over here change this one to also ease, and then I'm going to save it again, and then let's refresh. So you do have something more like that. Okay, all right, so that is probably like the first part of it. The next thing that we want to do is that we want to make sure that we do have our toggle thing working. All right, so for the toggle thing, menu wrapper is selected. I'm going to go into element, and I'm going to add a div block. All right, so with this, we can give it like menu or nav bar, nav toggle, Let me copy that, use it for something else. So that is a class that we are adding to that. And then inside, we are going to add little, I'm going to show you. All right, so we add another code block inside. And with this, we are going to just give it toggle bar. All right, so for this toggle bar, what we want to do is that we want to go into size. And then for height, we're going to give it 1 pixel. So 1 pixel. Okay, 1 pixel. All right, and then for width, we're going to give it like 50 pixel. So that is what we want to do. And after that, all that I want to do is go back into the layer. I'm going to rename this into the top bar, and then we can duplicate it. All right, so we duplicate it 3 times. So this one is going to be renamed to middle bar, and then this one we're going to rename that into bottom bar. All right, so top bar, you're going to click on middle bar, right, and then go into our structure panel, and then for the top, let's give this one like 8 pixels, and then for the bottom, sorry, go to, all right, issue here. All right, let's make this one everything 0, and then go back here, unlock that, and then make this one 8 pixels. Go to the top, also make this one 8 pixels. All right, so we do have something more like that. So clicking on the top bar, since they all have the same class, I'm going to go into background, change this background to black. All right, so you can see now we do have our lines there. Let's save that. Let's go to the front end. Let me bring this over here. I'm going to refresh. So we do have this over here just like that. What we want to do is that when we click on this, we want it to animate. All right, so let's try and do the animation. We have everything. So let's rename this one to nav toggle. Okay, and then we're going to go into interaction. So within interaction, what we want to do is that when we click on this div, we want something to happen. All right, so element, which is the div element, and then we're going to set our trigger to tap or click. So our first click, let's go into create a custom response, because in custom response, we are able to choose other elements to animate. When you click on select from library, you can select other elements to animate. So custom response is what we want. We're going to change this one to top bar. And then we are going to select what we want to animate, which is the top bar. So let me click on top bar. And then for this, I'm just going to click on here. And the first thing I want to do is I want to move it down. Click here. Let's say I want to move it down like 9 pixels. And the next thing is that I want to also rotate it. So let's say rotate on the Z axis, let's say 50 DEG, which is cool. All right, so that is the first thing that we just did. Let me save that. All right, and then let's go into our front end, and I'm going to click here. You can see that it just animated. All right, so that is cool. What we are going to do is let's duplicate this. So duplicate, and we're going to change this name to bottom. Not medium, not middle, but bottom bar. All right, so for bottom bar, when we click on move, we want to make sure that this one has negative. Then when we click on rotate, we want to make sure also this one has negative. That's all that we need to do. And then we are going to click on save, go into the front end, and then we test it out. So when I click here, all right, so you can see that it is not working. Why it is not working? Let me close this. So this is our bottom bar, right? Let's drag it here. You can see that our target is still top bar. It should be bottom bar. So how do we fix that? We click on these 3 items and these 3 dots over here, and then we can say change target, and then we can click on the one that we want to target, which is the bottom one. So all we have to do now is just save it, go to the front end, refresh, and then click. So now we do have something more like that. Okay, you can see that it is not too accurate. So I'm going to come here, go to the top bar, drag it, click on this, and then let's probably make this one like 12 pixels. and then let's save that, and then I'm going to refresh. So when I click here, you have something more like that, but probably not too accurate. So maybe I can do like a 15, and then let's save. This one I'm using my eyes to target where it is. I think I'm going to 2 down. All right, so let's do 10 pixels, right? 10 pixels, save, front end, refresh. All right, next thing that probably I want to do now is that I want to hide the middle one. So what I'm going to do is click on create another custom response, drag this over here, change this one to middle bar, save that, and then I'm going to select the middle bar, which is my target. I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to do opacity. So opacity, click on that, and then make sure opacity is what? 0. And then I'm going to save that, and then go in here and refresh, click here. You do have something more like this. So probably what we do want is for this then to come down a little bit, not too much. So the top, click on move, and then I'm going to do like 12 pixels, save, refresh. So you click, you do have something more like this. Should it come down more, or is my eyes deceiving me? I feel like my eyes is deceiving me somewhere. This doesn't seem accurate. I'm going to change this one to like a 13. I'm going to click on top bar, like bottom bar, and then make this one it's negative. Let's make this one also a 12, right? Let's see whether it's going to fix any of the issues. Yeah, I think it fixed them. It did fix them. All right, so let's say it has fixed something, right? Maybe let me do 13, right? 13. Maybe it's actually really going to fix it. Yes, I think now it looks really good. Okay, so that is that for that one. The next thing that we want to do is to make sure that when we click again, it closes, right? It closes and open, it closes and open. So to do that, you have it on here. You see this 3 dot. You click on that and you say duplicate the second click. Go in here, the same thing to this, duplicate the second click. Go in here, same thing, second click. So you go to second click, then we click on top bar, drag this bottom bar, you drag it up, and then middle bar, and then we also drag this one here. So with this one, what we want to do is I want to do the opposite of everything. So you click on move, and then make sure this is 0. You click on rotate, make sure that this is also 0. You click on move, make sure that this is 0. So you click on rotate, also make sure that this is 0. But when it comes to opacity, we want to make it 1 because we want it to show. All right, so we've done everything that is needed, and then we're just going to save that, go to the front end, refresh, and then click on here. So it changes, you click on here, it comes back, it changes, and it comes back. You see, really cool. All right, so we have done this. The next thing that we want to do is that we want to make sure that this one only shows on mobile. Only shows on mobile. So to do that, what we're going to do is it's still selected, as you can see. And then over here on desktop, we are going to go into structure. And then we're going to change this one from block to none. Go into tablet, make sure that there's also none. Go into mobile, and then we're going to make sure that this one is block, and then this one is also going to show as block. And then when we go into desktop, you can see that it is no more there. Let's save that. So when we come back in here and then refresh, you can see that it is gone. Okay, so what do we do next? Next then is we want to make sure that on mobile this is completely moved to the left hand side and it slides in. So let's select our menu items, and then we are going to go into position, and then within position we're going to change this one to fixed. But before I do that, let me go into my menu wrapper, change this one to relative. So it's relative to that, and then we are going to go into our menu items, and then change this one to fixed. All right, so when you do that, the next thing I want to do is to make sure it's tabbed like that. And after that, what I want to do is go into size, and then for size we can do like 100 VH. It didn't work. 100 VH, and then you can change this one to 100%, and it works like that. And also what we want to do for the width is we can also change this one to 100%, just like that. So now we do have this, but we don't want this way. You can, if there's the menu that you want to build, that is fine, but we want it to come down instead of be that straight. All right, so with this, we're going to go into structure, and then this being the row, we want to turn it into a column. You can leave it in the middle, but we are not going to do that. We're going to push this one to the left hand side, and then we are going to push it to the top. After that, in this same structure, we are going to give here, make sure it's not locked, give here 20 pixels to the left, 20 pixels to the left. All right, and then for the top, I'm going to give it 150. That is fine. All right, and then back in here in the structure, we're going to give it some gap of 25 pixels, just like that, and then we are going to save it. Okay, so let's go into Droid and then refresh. Now we're going to go into our mobile state. So mobile, so this is what we do have. So when you click, you can click it because this one is covering it. All right, so in here, what we want to do is this menu item is still selected. I want to show you, go into background, change color to this white. After doing that, you want to make sure that you go back into your position, and then we're going to change index to 1. So, and then we're going to go into toggle in position. We're going to change this one to relative, so you can see the index, and then we also change this one to 2, so that it comes on top. We're going to go into our logo because we want to see our logo. Change from static to relative, and then for index, we're going to change it to 2. So both these things are now out and about. We save that. Go into Drive, and then we're going to refresh. So when I click here now, you can see that the animation is working. The animation is working. It's working cool. All right. So the next thing is to make sure that when we click, this thing slides out from the left into the right. All right. So to do that, menu item, we're going to select that. Go into structure panel, right? Click on here, -100%. So it goes out of frame. Out of frame. -100% goes out of frame. I don't know why it went that. Percent. Into pixels. All right, so that is done. Okay, so that is cool. Next thing we want to do is I'm going to click on this toggle, right? Go into interaction, and then we are going to create a custom response. So click on custom response. From here, what we want to do is to click push this up, and then we can change the name to toggle navbar, right? Give it a spelling mistake. All right, so with that, what we want to do is our target is the menu items. So you can see that we just targeted that. I'm going to click here and then do move, and then we can shorten this if we want. So we shorten that, click on here, and then we want it to move into frame. So we're going to do 100%. All right, so let's save that. Come to the front end and then refresh. So when we click, it comes into frame, but now it doesn't go away. We just have to make sure that the second click is for it to go away. So let's close that. Hover on this, click on this 3 dot, duplicate to second click, go to second click, click on that, drag this up, click on move, and then we're going to make sure that this one goes to 0%. Close that, save it. All right, so go in here, refresh, click here, and then you can see that you do have all of the items that are needed. So you can open and close it, open and close, open and close, open and close. All right, so that is how you build a menu, a nav bar, a menu, whatever you want to call the name, but that is how you do build your own custom menu when you are building with Droid. And for me, first impressions, there are a few things that you might have to learn. You might have to get used to how they deal with classes. I didn't really look at the classes part in this video, but your classes is a bit tricky. When you start building with it, you see what I'm talking about. Probably there is a mindset to fix how the classes is worked, but apart from that, the builder is solid. Yeah, at the moment I use Breakdance a lot. Between this and Bricks is good. I have the license just for one website, so I'm not really like totally invested into it, but this one gives me it gives me more workflow, framer vibes. It gives me more polished. The interface, I feel like the interface is more me than other things that I have seen. Bricks is cool, don't get me wrong, but the interface doesn't really like move me to want to do more. So, but this one, the interface is pretty cool, and yeah, so watch out. Probably I might be doing more videos about that. Peace out. I'll catch you in the next one.